And like that, we back. It's your boy Pete Rose, Spill ENT in the building. Chronic Conversation React video. Shout out to everybody that subscribed to the page. Shout out to all the new subscribers. Shout out to everybody that's watching the videos. Much love. Thank you so much. Today, we continuing with the homework. We're back in school today. We're back in Spill School today. That's what we're gonna call it from now on. Spill School. Back in Spill School today. And we doing our homework on Big Give in the LA Extortion game. We're going to start from the beginning and work our way up to now. So without further ado, let's do our homework.
To the whole house, man. This is where we grew up at. This is like a major part of the hood. And my Uncle D lived in this house. My Auntie Sue lived in that house. Brothers and sisters. We used to have picnics in the backyard. We knew everybody up and down the street. When I was young, I used to always hear my dad. They used to tell me my dad used to do construction. So naturally, you hear this guy did. And so my mom used to buy red sets. Not only me had red sets, my cousin had them. We all had them. We would build models. That's all you could do. Wasn't no video games. It was about building and doing stuff with your hands. I knew how to turn on the water when they came and cut our water off. Soon as they leave and cut my mom water off, I know how to cut it back on. I had only sisters. They had best friends, so that means it was always girls in my house. So if the house is full of girls, my mama let me go to the hood. It was really just a lot of love on this block. Here go my cousin right here. Man. His daddy is the one who bought this house. This is our whole life. This is the most valuable house in the world right here to us. We'll pay $1 million for this right now. Man, this is the first place we moved to on the AG. This will make us AGs.
Where y'all come from? Where y'all stay at anyway?
Number one, we want
huh? What street y'all come from?
5'9".
5'9".
There was 10 other kids we grew up like from 5, 6 years old, become best friends, and everything we did together on Arlington.
That's you.
We later became what we called the Arlington Gang. My big cousin, Chili Capone, he was the one that called the shots for the AGs. The group of AGs that we was on our side. He's 2 years older than me, but he was probably 10 years smarter than all of us. From the Arlington Gang, that eventually morphed into our section of what was the Rolling 60s.
Y'all thought you was a cool guy.
You thought wrong, bro. You don't...
Welcome to 63rd Street.
Camera no grown man face without asking.
But you're a celebrity.
Man, I'm a 60 Crip, bro. First.
Okay.
All right, so learn about that, my nigga. Don't play with me.
Welcome to 63rd Street, home turf of the Rolling 60s, part of the largest street gang in all of Los Angeles, a gang called the Crips.
What it means to the community. To the community, it means terrorism. I did a lot of stuff over a period of time. The shit that I know that I was a part of, man, I'm fighting for redemption.
The 60s, we had a lot of numbers. We had a lot of elite guys before my time that was known for fighting, karate. They pumped fear into civilians.
What do you do that makes people so fearful?
We can walk into a place and that'll make people fearful just knowing that it's Rolling 60s.
I think being a gang member is enough for your friends. In such a jungle where it's so territorial, everybody fighting over these real scraps, lack of resources. So you got...
Our neighborhood is so big that we're on both sides of Crenshaw, both sides of Slauson, and we go down from La Brea to Arlington. So it's...
With the name, I'm just in the first generation of it becoming Rolling 60s. We the babies in that.
If you need some help or something, they're the ones who come right there and help you.
Around here, people take care of each other. Gangbang is a gang of black brothers trying to make it.
Gangbang played a lot in everything we did. We beat up everybody we can get our hands on. We all took martial arts. We used to train right here in the front yard, kicking, fighting, training in the back. I mean, as cousins, we used to fight all the time. That was just bullshit. We took that to the hood. Everybody would know it. Them little niggas off the block, they can get out.
You better let the nigga know where you from, AG.
Have a reputation for fighting was everything back then. That was before guns. That was before guns came into play. You was pretty much known for your reputation.
Back in the day, Big U was kicking motherfuckers' asses. He had a reputation. Even back then, he was probably like 17.
I thought he was gonna try to attack.
It's a false idea about gangbanging, like you do stuff to show everybody you bad. No, you do stuff so you don't have to do it down the line. So people understand the show they're gonna get the next time when they do something with you.
Because I was a good fighter, respect was earned. I don't know too many people gonna follow somebody who can't fight. I went viral. When I went viral, I had an altercation with the security guards at the supper club up here. We was going in. It's only 30, 40 minutes left in the club. This dude high or something. Your homeboy high. Yeah, they won't let him in. I'm like, I'm gonna stay out here with him. He just get off on the security guard for no apparent reason.
Get off, meaning?
He just fired on the dude. Yeah. We're together. It's me by myself.
Big you straight up.
So I made the assessment. It's 15 of them. You 50 get your ass whooped. But how the rules go, I'm gonna get in where I'm mad at. I took flight.
Back up.
Blood flipped up in my eyes. I couldn't see shit. I think I did pretty good, me versus 15. You know what I'm saying? Other niggas would have said fuck it and went back home and went and got their homeboys and said, come on, let's go. That's the difference between Big U and 90% of these motherfuckers. Probably about 200-300 dudes came to Hollywood, and dudes from every set in LA really stood up and was offended by what they had seen. Because just from every set was upset. That was a lot of violence against just clubs and security against clubs, and people expect 4 or 5 people to die. We got so many people dying over bull crap. I didn't really want to add to that. That's not the legacy I wanted to have. That was a misunderstanding, you know what I mean? Went too far. So we ended up shutting Hollywood down. We had to meet with the powers that be. You know, we had sat down with the owners of the supper club. They wrote me a check for over $200,000. We used about $70,000, $80,000 to do a food giveaway, toys.
So, were you out when death row started to build up and Kurupt started?
Not at all.
You were in jail the whole time?
Never happened when I had no death row.
But what do you mean?
I love Suge to death, but he definitely wouldn't have been moving around L.A. like that. Because in L.A. at the time, you wasn't seeing blood. You wasn't wearing no red at that time. That wasn't happening. And you definitely weren't moving like that without major situations. You know what I mean? And I think what was able to give rise to Suge, to the growth in Suge to move like he was the riots. The unity from the riot, gaming on each other, that's really what gave rise to death row.
You got it?
Yeah.
So explain it to me from your point of view.
Well,
because he basically said there wouldn't have been a death row had he been, to the level where it got at, the way Suge was moving around, if Big U didn't go to prison.
Yeah, Big U was a monster in the streets at that time. He still has a very high level of respect, not saying he lost any of it. The riots, the peace treaty, that gave an opening to a lot of people to start socializing with one another.
Right, because
it take 5 or 6 of my little nephew to deal with me. Right. In the other doc, they say that I'm pretty good. I'm 54 and I still, demonstrate. But anyway, I love my kids. It's just a fact. Right. But it's over that night. It's over 2 nights night. It don't go nothing. Right. Can't nobody really see me in my city, in my town.
Right.
Because I'm gonna go myself if it come to that.
Right.
I don't need no nigga to do nothing for me.
Right.
Yes, I did aspire to Deebo kill. And I had knocked out a dude's eye. So his eye came out. And it was
What you mean eye?
How the hell you knock somebody's eye out?
My eye came out?
So her eye came out.
I heard you used to study martial law.
And I caught the case and his eye came out. I'm just praying like, oh, Lord. Fuck.
Yeah, we still don't know how the eye just popped out. I'm checking mine now to make sure mine.
The car. I needed the key to the car. So if I could get them the actual key, and then it was a foreign car, we started robbing. I had no rain going. It was really successful, hella successful. And when I finally eventually got caught, I ended up going to Central Juvenile Hall. There was so many cases that they could not find me guilty of. That actual time led to me getting kicked out of California. They couldn't find me guilty of nothing because witnesses, of course, weren't cooperating at that time. But they refused to release me to custody to my mother. So my mother contacted my father and said, don't know where they'll release him if you come get him. So that's when my father flew out here to come get me out of Central Juvenile Hall. I got sent to Chicago. I get a call that he got killed. He was 2 years older than me. He had that oomph. And he could fight like a motherfucker. I came back to LA. I get a call that he got killed. I feel like when I contemplate, I think about the people I lost, and I feel like had I not been gone, a lot of them wouldn't be gone either. That, to me, was a major turning point in my life and our lives on Washington.
When Chili Capone was killed and Big U comes back, he really had a chip on his shoulder. And that's kind of like spiraled his anger to another level.
Jail, and you hadn't been in jail yet. The first music you was gonna hear, first time we ever seen people live other than in concerts, was at Word on Wheels Skating Rink.
Word on Wheels was the premier place to go in LA on a Sunday night because you had pretty girls, a lot of brothers like to dance and skate, you had good music knockouts.
Word on Wheels, it used to be a spot where, the 60s wasn't really welcome up there, but they would come anyway. This wasn't their neighborhood. It was a whole nother side of West LA.
Would be Big U. Face of the 60s, whether people like it or not, would be Big U. But early 80s, some people thought Big U was this square, this big goofy guy that wore glasses. Until I found out he could fight like a motherfucker.
There was every gang in there. We fighting every Friday, every Saturday. And we would be right there in the back of the parking lot, setting up phase and dudes fighting. Dudes knew that I was going to give a dude a head-up squabble, and he wasn't going to win. I wasn't even going to mess the jury curl up. That's how I got my reputation from whooping niggas at Word on Wheels Skating Rink. Bros used to come up to me like, are you going to fight tonight? You know what I'm saying?
Invited me to go to World on Wheels Skating Rink. It was my first time going there. My friend introduced me to Big U. He was young. He was getting it how he could get it in the streets, trying to help his family, trying to help his mom. He just had that street life. It was exciting to me because I didn't know that side even existed until I met him. He made me give my number to one of his homeboys. So it kind of developed from that.
Because it was ours, that gave us the run of Word on Wheels Skating Rink, which gave us the run of LA at the time. For the whole 60s, a sense of power starts to grow.
And the only thing they hear is Rolling 60s, because that's where it's at. Numero uno. You know what I'm saying?
Was where they put all Crips from certain sets, because the Crips had started getting so strong, they wanted to start separating the Crips inside the jail. I was 18 when I got there. I'll never forget it when you opened the door at 4800, I saw you here. You see a gust of wind. Whoosh. And then all you hear is a bunch of men. It sounds like an insane asylum. Damn, nigga, did I make it to hell? When you look down the tier, you see shit throwing over the tier. You see motherfuckers' hands out the boards. And then you thinking like, you're 18 and you ready for it. And at my age, I felt like I wanted to go to 4800 because I felt that's where you had to go to prove yourself.
Certain individuals that was from our neighborhood went to the county jail, module 4800. They were like some of the ultimate dudes. They all had big names. And so you want to be as tough as the next guy.
4800 was crazy. Every day you get up, you're going to have a fight until you prove yourself. Them niggas wasn't moving right in 4800. They was either recruiting niggas, raping niggas, and doing shit like that. 4800 wasn't cool to me.
When I first saw you 4800, you was holding somebody's head like this, and you went on them. You was pounding them. No,
3 days later.
No, but you was pounding on them. I mean, dude couldn't even fight back, didn't want to fight back. He just gave in. I liked how he represented himself. He didn't go at them. They came at him.
If all the niggas who claim to be this and that, G's and all that, if they would have been what they were supposed to be, I could have never became me. I got out in 87. Under one lawyer, dude beat all my cases. I ended up coming home just on probation.
We were taught there is no one leader from Rolling 60s. But Big U went to the county jail and he brought some order to that module. He brought it all together. He was the glue. And so now they were
arrested for some bull crap. They had 5 different police departments up here. Man, they filled this whole lockup. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous what they did. This is a very special Christmas because Dante is here. Last Christmas, folks, I wasn't here. I was a kid. Everybody's out of here. Let's give a word of thanks. That's what people say. It was always, you're not going to live past 19.
Life and Times of Dante.
Oh, of course, Big Q.
My alias name.
I just feel like if I make it out of this and I do get past 19, I'm going to change my life.
Look here.
If I want to go sell dope everywhere else, I would only come to LA for maybe a week. I wouldn't stay in LA more than a week or two. I'd come take care of some business, then I'm out. I was getting money. I was hustling. I'm in and out of town, I'm in and out of Minnesota, I'm in and out of Atlanta, selling drugs. In the process of taking drugs from Minnesota to Chicago to sell, I read Malcolm X's autobiography.
And we have to.
I can't tell the homies my mind ain't like, my mind ain't on killing the corners and banging like that. The name is so big and ominous. Every time I go through a door, it's Big U coming through the door. I really was a beast. I mean, that was a mentality. So I was still like I was in that wobble. Nowhere making no money. You know what I mean? I was in jail, I lost a family member. When my little brother got killed, I was in Calapat State Prison. Slim got killed, I was in 4800. When Lee Mack got killed, I was in Lancaster. When Stone got killed, I was in 1750. When GB died, I was in Susanville. Yeah. So a lot of my love was lost while I was gone. I was doing time. For 3 years and 9 months, I was in the hole. I got out the hole 17 days before I paroled. I did 13 years in prison. I'm free. At 37 years old, I get free. I'm a grown-ass man at 37.
His emotions when he got out in 04, well, hell, I know he was happy. I've never been on the other side of the gates to really know and understand what it would feel like to come through the gates and then just have all this freedom and know that I did it, and it's over with, and I'm free.
Outside of the gate.
Right before I left prison, I remember I was on the yard with one of the brothers from Hoover, and he was like, bro, when you get home, are you going to take your neighborhood to another level? Or are you going to go home and fall victim to the homeboyism in the neighborhood? If you're expecting to see this gorilla come home and he's supposed to get the whole hood in order, and I mean, I can't even outlive the stories that I done heard about me myself. I heard so many stories about Big U myself, man. I walk in the room and sometimes I use the Big U name. I walk up and be like, man, I know Big U. One of a few men that could touch any yard and unify all races, and within our own race, both sides of the coin, Bloods and Crips, and then bring these people together and begin to build. I did 13 years in prison. Now I'm free, and then I go to work. All right, that's the first part of the history of Big U and the LA Extortion game. As you see, Big U grew up gangbanging, went to jail, became a leader. He'd been a part of the gang culture before his block was a part of the Rolling 60s. So he's been active for a long time. He said he got out of jail when he was 37 years old in 2004. And then from there, that's when he started his forte into the music industry. And I will say his first artist is Nipsey Hussle, or at least the first artist that we knew of on the mainstream was Nipsey Hussle. And that relationship went south. And the story has it that him and Black Sam, he said it himself. Him and Black Sam ain't never been cool. They had a situation, and man, it basically spiraled out of control from there, and feelings were left where they at. And then next thing we know, Nipsey is dead, and now these rumors are turning to accusations, and this is crazy. But let's keep doing our homework. Let's go. Let's keep doing our homework. We're in school today.
Big U's influence extended from the block to the music industry, dictating who could move safely and who had to pay.
But if you don't check it in, oh well.
For years, feds claim he leveraged his reputation to navigate hip-hop's elite, brokering deals, offering protection, and controlling careers, all under the guise of being a peacemaker. To some, he was a mentor, while others portrayed him as a predator.
He jumped on me while I was pregnant, beat me up.
Enforcing a harsh reality, checking in wasn't an option. It was a necessity. From enforcer to industry power player, and the accusations that haunt him.
You telling me that it's coincidental that Big U just so happened to be sitting in that Roscoe's when P&B Rock got murdered?
The suspect then shot the victim multiple times.
This is the story of power, fear, and control, not only in the streets, but hip-hop as well. Did Big U guide artists to success, or was he the very force they needed to escape?
And I don't think nobody is safe.
Known for taking fades and holding ground, particularly at a popular gang hangout, World on Wheels, the 6'5", over 200-pound martial artist was a freak of nature that loved to brag about never losing a fair one.
And I've been doing martial arts since I was 9 years old. I've been fighting in the streets. That's why you always heard about me smashing things at World on Wheels. No losses.
His reputation preceded him.
Wow.
I mean, they say I had a loss when I know I had a loss when I was 15 against 1. And they called the police, and I went to jail. I don't know nobody go to jail if they was the loser.
Many of you were first introduced to Big U's character and street representation unknowingly. In the movie Friday, the character Deebo was created and inspired by Big U's hood legacy.
Yo, I ain't know that. I didn't know Deebo was based on Big U. So when Smokey climbed in the window and he got the draws, Big U nickname is Big Draws. The Smokies go through Big U window.
I told you, I pulled that from Big U. I used him as my background of how I wanted this character to be perceived. Because the whole thing about how bad this guy was.
Yes, I did inspire the Deebo character. Yes.
When the movie was in theaters, Eugene Henley was in the middle of serving a state sentence on robbery charges. When he was released back into the streets, he would proceed to reestablish his mark in Los Angeles in numerous ways.
Henley, better known as Big U, founded Developing Options to create viable solutions for our youth who believes that the street life is the only life they can have. Please help me welcome Big U to your world. Yeah.
Developing Options was his charity organization dedicated to the rehabilitation of gang members in a positive manner of attempting to give the youth other options than gangbanging.
Developing Option was a birth child of mine, and what we want to do is reach the youth and impact gang violence. My whole sole purpose was to impact the gang violence in LA. What can I do, and how can I help to stop our kids from killing each other? So when I was in prison, I used to hear about my partners doing sports programs, and then I was trying to figure out what was lacking. Mm-hmm. So I had an idea with what the city was already trying to implement in the gang program to say that let me come home and bring the different gangs that's warring with each other together to really have to work in the same organization.
Outside of that, he formed a record label, Unique Music, where he would manage and sign artists attempting to use his street prowess to penetrate the music industry. He would begin to make connections with out-of-town mainstream artists where he would allegedly provide protection for these artists who really couldn't remain relevant in the industry without visiting and doing business in the Los Angeles area. But that came with a price.
And we shouting out to my boy, this Big U and Kurupt on the set of Kurupt video, streetgangs.com, you know we love you.
Some of the artists he would connect with early were Kurupt, all the way to the likes of T.I. These connections were not hard to establish because all these artists had to do is ask any gang member from the Los Angeles area. It could be said that there's no way you can be considered a relevant gang member in LA without knowing who Big U was. From there, stories will begin to trickle out online where his reputation would become known. One major moment is when Henley was jumped by Samoan security guards who ignorantly mishandled Henley, not knowing they were dealing with one of the most well-known violent gangsters to ever run the streets of LA.
Look out for more, brothers. You say so. Don't touch him again. He's there. All that pumping don't do nothing. Don't touch him again. Are you trigger happy too? We not talking. You trigger happy? Hey, put it up.
This situation spiraled to where a standoff would occur between gang members and LAPD caught on camera. It got so out of control that they begged Big U to inform the crowd that the police were not the ones that caused injury.
Who did that to you? Who did that to you? Please. Who did it?
This situation with the club who employed these security guards to issue out a payment worth more than 6 figures for the situation to go away.
200-300 dudes came to Hollywood, and the dudes from every set in LA really stood up because it's from every set. It was a lot of violence against just clubs and security against clubs, and people expected 5 people to die. So we ended up shutting Hollywood down. We had to meet with the powers that be. You know, we had sat down with the owners of the Supper Club. They wrote me a check for over $200,000.
One well-known relationship he had was with one who he would use his connections with to secure a deal for. One from his own Kurupt card, Nipsey Hussle. The two had a very polarizing story that would haunt him even to this day. The story would be filled with misunderstandings and gang politics, where the two would have frictions over issues as small as studio equipment and family disputes, to the point where they both famously participated in a Thunderdome, which is an in-house disagreement that would be settled with two factions squaring off in a fight that ended with allegedly Eugene getting the best of Nipsey, leading to Nipsey's brother, Black Sam, ending the confrontation by shooting in the air. Officers patrolling the area would hear these shots and respond, leading to Black Sam getting arrested on the spot. Some would say this whole deal got out of hand after Nipsey dropped a diss song about Henley called You Don't Have a Clue.
I'm busy getting rich, you think that I'm gonna stop for you? I built this on my own and everybody know it's true. Still niggas act like they supposed to have control of what I do, but look, they don't got a clue.
Me and Nipsey had a fallout. He had my equipment, and I wanted to use my equipment. He got mad because I got my equipment back. So then that's when our conflict started. I ended up getting the equipment back and said, I'm gonna move it right here at my shop on 43rd and Crenshaw. And then everybody can get there all the time. Nip, you can get to when you want to. So he got mad. You ain't gonna get on my way, you on my way, bro. He ain't like that. He's supposed to make a diss song about me. But I ain't no rapper, I'm a scrapper. So we end up having to come talk about that. Pull up the homies, and Nip admit is wrong, but still there's some consequences to your wrong. I came to pick him up that morning so he can get his discipline. And his brother got in the way, talking about my brother not going nowhere.
The beef would be squashed, though the feelings between the two would never be the same. Their relationship would take a national spotlight after one gloomy day at the end of March 2019, where Nipsey will be shot to death in front of his Marathon store by a fellow neighborhood 60 called Shitty Cuz, aka Eric Holder. Though Eric Holder will be charged and convicted for the murder, even to this day, Big U will be accused of having a say in this murder, accused of giving Holder a green light. This will be marked by eerie clips of Henley's response to the killing of Nipsey, one he always referred to as someone he saw as his son.
Justice for Nip.
These accusations would only get stronger after a self-proclaimed enforcer of Big U, Loose Cannon, would confess to the world on the No Jumper podcast that Henley previously knew that Nipsey would be murdered a half an hour before it occurred.
So he FaceTimed me and stuff like that. He was like, Nipsey just got killed. I'm like, 6-0. I didn't hear that. So I hang up with him. I called Nipsey and I'm like, Nipsey, what's up? He was like, oh, what's up with it?
Nipsey answered.
Nipsey answered. He answered the phone. So after I talked to Nipsey and I was like, yeah, I love you, cuz, or whatever like that. I'll see you later or whatever. So I hung up the phone. I thought Big U gave wrong information. 30 minutes later, the homies blowing me up like they just killed Nipsey.
You get a call from Big U telling you Nipsey just got killed.
Yeah.
You panic, call Nip. Nip answer the phone.
Yeah.
30 minutes after you get off the phone with Nip, he get killed.
Yeah, I got it.
So you think he hit you a little too early?
Yep, he hit me a little bit too early.
This episode would be removed off of YouTube after being hit with the cease and desist issued from Henley himself. Although Big U would hold a peace walk in an attempt to unite LA gangs, he would not attend Nipsey's funeral or procession.
Now, this is where it gets tricky. This is where it gets into the situation with Nip. And when I'm saying he wanted his equipment back, you're the leader, bro. You can do whatever you want to do. But this is tricky, bro. This is tricky, man. When they get into the situation with Nip and P&B Rock, I ain't know him and Loose Cannon was in the Roscoe's when P&B Rock got killed. I ain't know that. That's new earth to me right there. That's new. But without further ado, let's keep doing our homework. Let's keep doing our homework, man.
Big U and Nipsey were once close business partners when Nipsey signed with Epic Records in 2007. Plans to release his first studio album, South Central State of Mind, were to follow after his 3 mixtapes from the series, Bullets Ain't Got No Name, which was an instant underground hit, but that album was never released. Animosity between Nipsey and Big U started when Nipsey wanted to cut ties with Big U's label. Nipsey was allegedly locked into a shady deal where he felt he was being extorted by Big U. But according to Big U, his version of the origin of conflict began when Big U left the music industry. Nipsey had Big U's recording equipment and Big U wanted it back. Big U was able to recover the equipment and moved it to his shop on 43rd and Crenshaw, thus making it accessible to other artists, including Nip if he still wanted to use it. Apparently, Nipsey took exception to Big U taking the equipment. They weren't seen eye to eye. And then Nipsey comes out with the song You Don't Have a Clue from his 2010 mixtape The Marathon, which is widely believed to be a diss song aimed directly at Big U, specifically in the first 4 lines of the song. Following the diss track, Big U subsequently pulls up on Nipsey with some homies and confronts him. They attempted to pick him up so they could discipline him, and this form of discipline does not consist of a head-up fade. Before Big U could take Nipsey away for the DP, Black Sam jumped in front and told Big U that Nipsey wasn't going anywhere with them, and Big U responded by wanting Black Sam to stay out of it, saying that Black Sam was never from 60s and that this is gang business, although he did understand the sentiment of protecting his brother. In addition to the equipment ordeal, family disputes have caused these two to clash in a real way. Nipsey's first baby mother is Big U's niece. During this time, Nipsey and his baby mother were not getting along, as he did not were in the vicinity. Allegedly, Nipsey would go solo to his baby mother's house and pistol whip the guy his baby mother was with for having his daughter in that unsafe environment. Nipsey beat him up bad to the point he had to get sent to the hospital. Allegedly, his baby mother was harmed in the mix-up as well. Shortly after Big U heard about the incident, he pulled up to Nipsey's store and confronted him about it. Words were exchanged, and it led to them fighting in the alley. Big U allegedly gave Nipsey a beat down. This led to Black Sam going back inside to retrieve a pistol. He proceeded to fire a shot in the air to get Big U off Nipsey. LAPD arrived almost immediately where they saw Black Sam with a pistol in his hand. The officers then opened fire on Black Sam, but not a single bullet struck him. They were all arrested and taken to the 77th Street Division. All 3 bailed out the next morning. When Nipsey began collaborating with YG in 2011, he brought YG to 6-0 territory for Nipsey's part in the Bitches Ain't Shit video shoot. Big U did not approve of Nipsey bringing a rapper from Treetop into the set. During the early 2010s, it wasn't very common to have Pyrus hanging out in the 60s. So when Big U got it,
now, this in my opinion, this when the power dynamic started to come in play. Nipsey is rising in prominence and fame. Big U is the leader, but nobody really knows him. He don't got the fame and all that. Nipsey got that fame. And then he started messing with Lauren London. He coming through the hood in Bentleys and all that. That's the power dynamic shifting. I'm not saying that any neighborhood, any corporation, when the up-and-coming youngster is starting to take the role of the leader, and the leader that's in there at the time always doesn't want the younger person to come up and take their spot, ever. So whenever I see this, hear this part of him and Nipsey's relationship, this was the power dynamic, bro. He was trying to keep his foot on bro's neck because he know bro is about to be something major, something big.
friends, 6-0s just to have YG in their hood. And the love from Nipsey was reciprocated when YG invited Nip to the trees for the I'm a Thug video shoot. The two became good friends and collaborated on numerous songs in the upcoming years. Over the course of the next 7-8 years, Nipsey's career continued to elevate to the next level. including a Grammy nomination for the Best Rap Album, but there were still internal issues behind the scenes. Throughout this period, Big U and Nipsey's relationship seemed to be hot and cold, and for a brief period, they both seemed to be on a good accord.
Remember that. He did what no other rappers do today. He sold his own music. He sold his own music. So when I came along and Steve came along, we had a formula that merged with what he do. But he
look at Nipsey's face. Look at Nipsey's face. Look at Nipsey's face. While Big U talking the whole time. Let's look at Nipsey's posture. Look at his face. Look at his posture. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. What was Nipsey thinking right here? In this moment right here, while he's speaking about to give him an award, what is Nipsey thinking about? Let me know down in the comments. Let's continue doing homework. Let's go.
no other rappers do today. So when he came along, we had a formula that merged what he do. But he outworked any artist I've seen. I'm talking about business-wise. I'm not talking about on the mic. Because if you notice, this man is more professional than 90% of the dudes who are trying to grow to his level. But I'm saying that to all young babies. To a T, he outworked a whole lot of people. And this is the reason why we are giving him the award, the Businessman Award, because he really exudes everything that you need to exercise in business. So let's give this man a hand and wrap it up for him.
But Big U seem to have never liked each other, with Black Sam disapproving of the way Big U has handled things pertaining to Nip, and with Big U being pretty vocal of his dislike for Black Sam.
And then I'm gonna keep it 100. Me and his brother wasn't cool. Me and his brother weren't the best of friends. You gotta understand, like I'm gonna have friends that my mama ain't gonna like. I'm gonna have friends that my brother's not gonna like. You gonna have people that your people don't like. You know what I'm saying?
Since he's been out of prison, Big U has gained a rep for allegedly strong-arm extorting any rapper or artist that comes into 6-0 territory. Anyone with a big name needs to pay a tax and go through Big U to be granted entry access and the ability to be in the 60s without risk of being harmed. In early 2019, DJ Khaled, Nipsey, and John Legend teamed up for the single Higher. Initially, Nipsey had brought DJ Khaled to the 60s for the visuals of the song. When Big U got word of this, he allegedly sent a gang of 6-0 members to the video shoot to press the issue. Nipsey frontlined, but the overwhelming pressure resulted in him moving the video shoot to the top of a parking structure in Inglewood. Nipsey also had to beef up security, as he was receiving death threats, allegedly from the Inglewood families, the dominant blood gang in the city. After Nipsey was killed a few days later, rumors began to fly that Big U had allegedly orchestrated the murder, with many people pointing out their past issues. A recorded clip of Big U's live began circulating the internet.
Justice for them.
A young boy would have been there like, yeah,
You did. You did.
Eric Holder, a previous hot-headed unknown shooter from the 6-0s, as well as a former friend of Nipsey's first baby mother, was charged and eventually convicted for Nipsey's murder. In a recent interview with Big Boy, Black Sam alluded to the possibility that Eric Holder was sent by someone, which has again sparked up a whirlwind of theories, saying that Big U was allegedly involved. People have speculated that Nipsey was getting bigger than the program and was defying the first law of power to never outshine the master. But this is all speculation that has no base. Big U has repeatedly denied that he had any involvement in Nipsey's murder, saying that Nipsey was like a little brother to him. Black Sam continues to keep Nipsey's vision alive.
That was some good homework right there. Was he extorting Nipsey? The whole situation with DJ Khaled, Loose Cannon break it down. That's one of the things. Loose Cannon breaks a lot of this stuff down. And just remember, the feds was watching since 2022. Extortion game. Bro was laying the extortion game down. Like, allegedly laying the extortion game down out in LA, man. No matter who it was. even getting into an altercation with security guards, so more security guards. He made their management pay him. Pay that money up. Man. So look, just tell me what y'all think. Y'all think he had anything to do with Nipsey's death? There's a lot of coincidence with that situation. It's a lot of interlocking things. You know, there's no real evidence, but it's just rumors and accusations on him being involved with Nipsey Hussle's death. But what do y'all think? Do y'all think he had anything to do with Nipsey's death? Let me know. Let me know in the comments. Yeah, all right. Man, we're going to keep doing some more homework. Let's go.
I didn't hear that. So I hang up with him. I called Nipsey and I'm like, Nipsey, what's up? He was like, oh, what's up with it?
Nipsey answered.
Nipsey answered. He answered the phone. So after I talked to Nipsey and I was like, yeah, I love you, cuz, or whatever like that. I'll see you later or whatever. So I hung up the phone. I thought Big U gave wrong information. 30 minutes later, the homies blowing me up like they just killed Nipsey.
You get a call from Big U telling you Nipsey just got killed.
Yeah.
You panic, call Nip. Nip answer the phone.
Yeah.
And 30 minutes after you get off the phone with Nip, he get killed.
Yeah, I got it.
So you think he hit you a little too early?
Yep, he hit me a little bit too early.
This episode would be removed off of YouTube after being hit with a cease and desist issued from Henley himself. Although Big U would hold a peace walk in an attempt to unite LA gangs, he would not attend Nipsey's funeral or procession.
A Crips gang leader in Los Angeles is wanted on federal RICO charges.
On March 20th, 2025, the FBI would drop a bomb on not only Big U, but a considerable amount of fellow gang members, hitting Big U with a 107-page indictment that detailed horrific accusations of robbery, extortion, prostitution, and fraud.
Authorities say Eugene Henley Jr., known as Big U, ran a criminal enterprise that committed a series of racketeering crimes, including extortion, human trafficking, fraud.
This indictment would detail an even more grim picture of Big U's alleged relationship with a host of rappers, claiming Big U would use a method called checking in to extort out-of-town athletes and rappers for money and industry favors. Checking in is a system where individuals or a company must contact the locals or take the risk of being robbed or shot at. Many times these individuals are not paying for protection from others, but unknowingly the same locals that they were paying.
Been rumors that LA is probably one of the most dangerous places for rappers. Do you believe that's true?
Yeah, because I mean, everybody be checking in. That's your favorite thing to do. Check in with somebody that's gonna rob your stupid ass.
Right. Wow.
Yo, you think that guy, the guy that you don't know, motherfucker, in California got your back?
Movie production in the hood. That's how we do it, yo, man.
Top flight, baby. Yeah.
GB running this here movie set in the hood. Coming out here and checking in with GB, getting these movies done. You better know it. Sure. Anytime you want to do movies in the hood, just check it in. We can make sure it's done. Movies, videos. But if you don't check it in,
oh well, just gonna check your ass out.
we're gonna check you in, all right. We're gonna check in all of your equipment.
Henley's aggressive method of making artists and companies check in garnered him all kinds of income and favors, even ushering himself into the movie industry, where he appeared in a list of movies such as Force of Execution with Steven Seagal.
Oh, martial arts and movie with Steven Seagal. That was the movie was Force of Execution with Steven Seagal, Danny Trejo, and Ving Rhames. And basically, you had to be karate expert to be in the movie. I had a fight scene in there. It was fun.
Inside the indictment, it would state that a rapper with the initials RR would have to cough up thousands of dollars to stave off a potential termination of a rapper with the initials MM. The assumption would be the two rappers were Rick Ross and Meek Mills. Ross at the time had Meek Mill signed to his label.
We in LA. When I go to Chicago, I respect Chicago wholeheartedly. I check in. When I go to Atlanta, I check in. When I go places, I check in. And I don't think nobody is safe. I know dudes right now from LA who are actual gang members who have been robbed for their jewelry, who real killers. You just caught slipping. You know, that's how it is. You know what I mean? And you try your best not to be slipping. And if you have the means not to, why do it?
The paperwork would also claim that rapper P&B Rock was warned by Big U that he could be robbed for not checking in and instructed if he gave up the items, Big U would be able to retrieve them.
So when it happened, I wish I could have just told him, like, bro, just give up the jewelry and we get it back to you later. But it just happened so fast and he wasn't corroborating. And that's when they took it off of him by force. You get what I'm saying?
At about 1:15 p.m., Southeast patrol officers responded to the 100 block of Manchester Avenue for a robbery that just occurred. When they arrived, they found a male suffering gunshot wounds, and that male was then transported to the hospital.
I'm listening to him break down how him and Big U was sitting in the same Roscoe's when P&B Rock got his TV turned off. You telling me that it's coincidental that Big U and Loose Cannon just so happened to be sitting in that Roscoe's when P&B Rock got murdered?
But the most horrific story to be highlighted in this indictment would come from an unknown rapper on Unique's music roster that would never get a chance to shine, whose story would share eerie similarities to that of the late great Nipsey Hussle. This young rapper will be described in the paperwork with the initials RW, which would stand for Rashawn Williams. The story would sound like it came straight from a mafia movie. Rashawn Williams, a 21-year-old whose relationship with Henley go back to his early youth, where he was reportedly a product of Henley's youth football league that Big U birthed out of his development options charity. He was a wide receiver who attended Crenshaw High and was reportedly friends with Big U's son, Deion Henley, who is now a professional football player for the San Diego Chargers. In the paperwork, it would state that Williams was housed and funded by Henley, where he would attempt to develop Williams into a mainstream artist. Big U would award Williams studio time, in which was received reluctantly, which angered Big U. It would be in January 2021 when RW allegedly drafted a diss track toward Big U in which he would use the studio time to record. This story sounds very similar to Nipsey Hussle's story, where he seemingly recorded a diss track toward Henley, which the streets would say turned their situation upside down. In RW's song, he would state that Big U is the bro that makes the money, and that for this track, he himself could be shot in the face with a 38 for thinking shit is sweet. But Rashawn's diss track would never see the light of day. The indictment would state that Williams agitated Henley so much that he would immediately drive from LA to Vegas at a moment's notice to confront RW for numerous reasons. When Big U arrived at the studio, one of the first moves he would make, according to the paperwork, is remove all surveillance at the studio and the recording equipment used to record the diss track. He would then go to meet up with Williams at an Airbnb he booked for him using someone else's account. This would be the last time anyone would see Williams alive, as he would be found the morning of January 25th, 2021. Williams will be found dead in a ditch located near the Las Vegas 15 freeway with a gunshot to the face, which feds say was done with a 38. The family would state after this, Henley would immediately remove RW from all his social media. Rashawn's aunt would state that Henley, one who consistently called her once a week after this event, would never talk to her again. The family would not give up, giving the LVPD as much evidence as possible. This story would recently be moved forward by a boxer / 60 member 600.
Big U didn't come to the funeral, didn't offer any type of assistance for the funeral, and he blocked you guys. You know, I'm just wondering whatever happened to this case. So let's just read through the case. Police. Homicide suspected after body found in desert near Apex. Okay. North Las Vegas police are investigating a homicide after body was found this week in a desert area just outside of the valley. Police said they got a call around 9 a.m. Monday about a person found lying in the area near Las Vegas, Clark Peterson Boulevards, about 4 miles northeast of Las Vegas Motor Speedway near Apex. On arrival, and found the body of a man. Officers arrived and found the body of a man between ages of 25 and 35 years old. Detectives and crime scene investigators responded, and the matter of death have been determined as a homicide. Clark County Coroner's Office identified the body as 21-year-old Rayshawn Williams of Los Angeles. Williams died from gunshot wounds, according to the coroner's office. Death has been ruled a homicide. So, I mean, that's all that we heard about this. That's in the question of Big Q. Aside from the allegations you got with the street stuff, the streets don't really hold no weight. But as a man, you know, you say you for the community, and this young man was living with you, and you have no answers. What you man play football at Crenshaw High School, and like, what do you got to say about this? Like, what's your input on it? How you feel about it? Because I've seen you go out and say, you know, when our homies got killed, that if anybody got any information, to give it to you. You said this before, so why haven't you said this about the young man who was living with you at the time he got murdered? You know, people sign to be a gangbanger. You know, it kind of comes with the territory. You know, some things, you know, you'll end up dead or in jail. But this situation right here was a little different.
Wack 100 would also be in contact with the family, keeping track of the progress. It was Wack who would be the first to discover the situation would come down to DNA, discovered under Williams' fingerprints.
When did the test come back? When did the DNA come back?
It came back 2 months ago.
And they still ain't arrested the nigga?
Well, they told me between me and you, please, between me and you, don't tell nobody because they don't want nobody to know. They're going to be making an arrest the ending of March, the beginning of April.
Gotcha. I'm gonna sit back and watch the show. You know, I don't
And they basically gonna put his case and Nipsey Hussle case together. The same person that the DNA that the lawyer for Nipsey Hussle is gonna be doing my brother case too.
You mean the DA?
Yeah.
Yeah.
District attorney. Oh, okay.
This story will be one of the main highlights that will shake the internet, portraying Henley as a mob figure participating in robbery, extortion, and executing mob-like murders. The feds would take to the media to mark Henley as the head of a RICO organization and the main target of Operation Drawdown, playing off of one of Big U's monikers, Draws. This would also mark Draws as a fugitive, stating that most of the culprits named in the RICO investigation were already apprehended.
No, other than he's a fugitive and he's being sought by law enforcement, and we're obviously looking for him as we would any fugitive who's engaged in the type of conduct that's alleged here.
The moment Big U's indictment was announced, an artist once connected to his label quickly began to speak.
He's a monster, and everything that he's getting right now, he definitely deserves it. Well, you know, he jumped on me. He lured me over to Nipsey Hussle's shop. He jumped on me while I was pregnant, beat me up, made me go to another part of the neighborhood. I got jumped by 3 girls. I still have a scar on my back from that incident. He lied on me. He extorted me. He threatened people not to work with me. I mean, he did a lot. He did a whole lot. And it wasn't just a singular thing he did. He did this throughout the years with me, with events, with people, with situations. He's just a monster. He's a bully, and he deserves to be in jail. He should have been in jail a long time ago. And it's a sad situation because we're talking about a child. This was a child. Big U is a 60-year-old grown man.
Before turning himself in, Big U would address all the claims and who he thought was behind the indictment.
This is my last video before I turn myself in. I'm with my family. Talk to my sons. I talk to everybody, man. I'm just saying, going to deal with this fight, see what it is. I just want y'all to know All this stuff is quagmire. Shit is all bullcrap. I just need y'all prayers. I need y'all to, I don't even know what to say. I'm 21 years, elevated my family, come back, sit in here and write and do what I need to do until I can come back home. And people are supposed to help me. I hope you help me. Hank, you don't worry about it. A lot of stuff y'all hearing is straight trash. And I appreciate the love and I appreciate people who've been helping me. I don't know. It's hard helping black people and not being hunted for doing it.
More than likely, this indictment is just the beginning of the end of Henley's reign of terror on the Los Angeles streets, an entity known to bogart and bully his way into any situation he please will now have to face his biggest enemy yet, the FBI. Before turning himself in, he would make one last declaration.
But I'm going to go turn myself in, though. Because I ain't did nothing.
This is the history of Big U and the LA Extortion gang. I hope y'all like the homework. Man, tell me what y'all think. They linking on the Nipsey stuff, linking on the PNB Rock death, linking into the young guy, Rashawn Williams death. And all of those deaths for one of the artists, 2, he ain't show up to the funeral. 3, there's some type of control element. Man, bro was extorting everybody, man. He is extorting the rappers, the actors, the people in his community, the city of Los Angeles. He's extorting everybody. But I just got one question. Like, everybody I see that they talking about he extorting are the same color as us, black. There's no extortion of any white people, Asian people, Indian people, Arab people. I'm just saying. All the people they showed in this video that he allegedly extorted and bullied, did all that too. I'm talking about in his later years. Even in his early years. Everybody's all black. Everybody's black. Only situation where he was mobbing on somebody other that was black was the Samoan guys, and that was a situation outside of the club. But everything else with this LA extortion game, they black. All the artists are black. All the entertainers are black. All the athletes are black. There's no white athletes getting extorted. I'm just saying. Let me know in the comments what y'all think about this whole situation. And if you stay here this long with me and watch this whole situation, thank you. I appreciate it. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share the YouTube channel. It's your boy Pete Rose, Chronic Conversation React video. And like that, we out.